Concentrated on the beat.
Buy this beat now. You know you like it.
Alright, so admittedly, I probably should have not put off making this, and frankly, I'm just at that point where I just don't care. So, you guys can take this shit with a grain of salt if you want, but the truth of the matter is, this is just my opinion. It's not a insult, it's not meant to attack any group of individuals, or even in the matter of speaking, in no shape or form a way to diminish anyone's creative work or product, right? For those of you who are aware that, you know, James Gunn has now took over the DC universe. A lot of people have been giving mixed responses, mixed point of views, and all of this. I've talked about this on Twitter myself a few times. And I will respectfully continue my perspective. I do not think that James Gunn is going to continue the legacy that was already thought upon prior to his presidential inauguration into the DC universe. And it seems that in hindsight, there is a lot of evidence to prove that what James Gunn is doing, as well as his co-conspirators, it seems like this is literally a long-term plan to completely destroy the DC universe as it is. And not in terms of, oh, they're going to bring Darkseid and all this other stuff. No. They literally said it out. He said it out his mouth that the Flashpoint is going to completely reset the universe. Fine. I'll accept that. But come more currently, you have the consistency that James Gunn has been practically gaslighting all and any other DC projects that were supposed to come out between now and 2026, for that matter. Now, yes, I will openly admit that there have been some consistent issues with the DC cinematic universe as a whole, such as the Snyder Cut, Josh Whedon's replacement for Zack Snyder during the Justice League 2017 film. There are many aspects to this that makes it even more ridiculous, right? And even more recently, gassing the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's head up to the point of where that he thought he could be the centerfold of the DC universe. And honestly, that would have not been that's still, even now, it's crazy to me that James Gunn allowed The Rock to take creative control and utterly brutalize what was left of the DC universe prior to James Gunn's inauguration. And I find it disappointing. I find it abruptly aggressive, and for whatever purpose they thought this was a good idea, it's not okay. And genuinely, I have no disrespectful things to say about James Gunn. I do not. And honestly, I'm going to say my perspective on it like this. I believe Kevin Feige knew for a fact what he was doing when he allowed James Gunn to work on other projects, which is fine. You know, Guardians of the Galaxies 1 through 3, Suicide Squad 2, Peacemaker series, you know, stuff like that. I totally understand. But we've seen this before. The last time a director from Marvel decided to team up with DC, it didn't end well. We got Justice League in 2017 because of Joss Whedon and DC's refusal to let Zack Snyder grieve in terms of his daughter's abrupt passing. And the movie turned out half-assed. So frankly, the fact that they still have this inconsistency even after James Gunn has joined the ranks, it's only proof that James Gunn is probably not going to carry the torch like everyone claims he's going to be. and I look forward to seeing James Gunn's projects in the future. This is very true. I will admit that. But as far as it sees so far, I'm not going to sit here and lie to any of you. I believe personally that there's a extreme issue with there's an extreme issue and a disconnect between directors, producers, and people that run DC and Marvel for that matter. And now that it has come to this point where, yeah, James Gunn now has to compete with somebody that made him a lot of money. And it's not surprising that somebody that previously worked with Marvel would come out and work on other projects. I'm not saying like you're a property of Marvel or anything like that. But it comes to that point where this is not about to be no big blockbuster film. They can sit there and say, "Oh, we're gonna bring some of the Snyderverse characters back and all this other stuff." I don't believe that. DC has had a falling out for quite some time, and with this little issue with 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 Kang the Conqueror's actor, now it's probably going to. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm gonna stamp on this. By the time they finally do get these little critiques and issues out of the way with him and whatever this assault case is on his behalf, it's very likely they're not going to let him come back as Kang the Conqueror. And it's fine, I'm not critiquing, but it's going to probably be a circumstance where, much like before, DC will probably offer their hand. And with James Gunn at the helm, it seems like that's more likely because let's be realistic. Just because James Gunn is head of DC now does not mean he doesn't get phone calls from people that work with Marvel. Probably does have Kevin Feige on speed dial. I'm not looking forward to another Justice League movie. I'm not gonna lie. And the Justice Society was a washout movie to me. It would be a washout movie because all it did was showcase many different aspects that where James Gunn as a director, again, because Black Adam came out around the same time, we can't really say too much. But again, you let Dwayne The Rock Johnson have his power. You let him do what he wants. So instead of that Marvel role that he said he would want at some point, he took a DC role and it went straight to his head. And James Gunn, obviously sitting at the table with him, let him say and do what he wants. You backdoored the man. You backdoored Zach Levi, backdooring Henry Cavill in terms of being in Shazam, and then gave him a small but 30-second part in Black Adam. Black Adam was supposed to be in Shazam 2. They cut that because Henry Cavill was not available to also reprise his role. And even now, like Shazam was supposed to be in Black Adam instead of Superman. They disagreed again. So the fact that you have people that James Gunn is allowing to backdoor other actors in terms of their credits and their credentials as actors, and even now it's coming out so many years after the fact, like you see niggas really talking down on The Rock, and he's like blatantly ignoring it, even though he himself is in the wrong, and it's 100% true. So let me know what you guys think. I personally I'm not putting my hopes very high, for James Gunn. I mean, let's be realistic. The slate of films that's supposed to come out between now and 2040 or 2030, whatever have you, is already a team up movie. 2 team up movies. No, not even a movie. The Amazon movie is getting reworked. So at this point, I would just say ride the wave. Because I can guarantee you between now and 2028, I guarantee you Marvel's still going to carry DC. James Gunn or no James Gunn. I promise you that. But let me know what you guys think. You think he's okay? You think he's not? I will definitely include you guys in the next video if I make another video about this.